Let me ask you this. Would you quit your job at 19 if you're making over six figures? This one 19-year-old did just that after only working 1 year at design platform Canva to pursue her own business. Let's dive in. Hey everybody, welcome to Circling Back, a segment where I'll go ahead and share the trending news and stories around the world of work and share how you can grow your career along the way. If we haven't met before, my name is Josh Luna. I'm a leadership development trainer who's written for Harvard Business Review and also been featured in Business Insider and on LinkedIn News. If you're new to this channel, make sure that you like this video and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell to make sure that you stay up to date with all of the latest updates from Circling Back. This week, I read a Business Insider piece titled, "I quit my $95,000 a year job as a Canva product manager at 19. I felt trapped and the salary wasn't worth it." Based off the title alone, you might be thinking, who in the world would quit a job with that much of a salary in a current world where stability and high income isn't really all that common anymore? The article centers around a 19-year-old from Australia named Hannah, who was an associate product manager at Canva, quitting her job because she felt trapped by the 9-to-5 schedule. She had a desire for creative freedom, a flexible schedule, and financial independence that she wasn't getting from her role. So instead, she decided to pursue entrepreneurship and focus on freelancing, where she hopes to make $200,000 this upcoming year and $1 million a year 2 years from now. Very ambitious and very great. I wish the best of luck to you. However, there are several elements of this piece that I do need to address. And the first really starts with the concept of navigating discomfort, which is a skill of its own that you'll either learn or ignore as you progress in your career. The ones who have successful careers and are industry leaders are the ones who learn how to navigate discomfort. When you run into a less than ideal element in your workplace, you really have to consider two questions. One, why is this happening? And two, what can I do about it? Often, you'll have more power in your role, regardless of what age you are. The problem that most run into is that they don't have the answer right in front of them. From what I gathered in this piece, she was uncomfortable with the tight 9-to-5 schedule and also was very disappointed that she was not able to provide value to the organization in a way that she thought she could best represent. This prompted her to leave. These are two extremely valid concerns, but what did she do about it? What made her feel uncomfortable? The article doesn't really dig into any conversations she had at work to address these or any conversations that she might have had with her manager. But what I recommend for anybody who is in a similar type of situation to do is to ask the two questions that I mentioned above. Tell your manager about your schedule. If there's a better option or if you have another way to work this out that might be a little bit more productive, let them know. Explain why the alternative is better and start incorporating it slowly into your schedule. In terms of value, why do you think you're not providing any value? Have you told your manager or team about this? Work with them to determine what allows you to bring your best self to work and to actually enjoy your role. Fight for what you're looking for. You have to be absolutely relentless with this. And if you're met with a no, think about if it's really worth leaving. If you're unwilling to do the work now, what makes you think the next opportunity is going to be 100 times better? No company is going to check off everything off your list, so you have to think about what is it going to take for you to feel satisfied in your role within reason. The second element that I want to address is an opportunity that every employee has at an organization. Even if you're not 100% happy with your role, every employee has the opportunity to start learning new skills while being paid. Just because you're working on a set of projects or initiatives doesn't mean that you can't start learning new skills or working on stretch assignments and projects from your manager if you start asking for them. At this point in your career, especially if you're early on in that journey, you're being paid to learn. You're able to try out new skills, you're able to try out new projects, all while still receiving a salary and making some money. So you're able to test out some of these concepts and some of these skills live in a real environment. If you're looking for new roles in the near future, and maybe you are thinking about starting a business later down in life, think about what skills are necessary in order for those to happen. Start a list with all the skills that are required in those different types of roles and those different functions. Think about how you can apply them in your day-to-day. Remember, you are testing these skills and you are learning them in a real work environment, meaning you have examples to produce. You can use these on your resume if you're trying to go get a new job, or you can use them because you have the experience now when you do start your business, because somebody paid you to learn this on the job. It's much easier to start practicing a new skill and learning with real life examples than learning things on the fly and figuring it out on your own. Especially if you're younger in your career, you're getting paid to learn. Take advantage. Take your early career years and learn as much as possible. Just be strategic about the knowledge you're trying to learn. You have to be clear and deliberate, as not all managers are going to understand how to grow your skill set and maybe teach you something new. And finally, the last element that I want to discuss is the glamorization of starting a new business. This concept isn't new. Everywhere online, everything you read is about starting a new business, entrepreneurship, and how it's going to make you rich overnight, or just work a couple months and you know what, you have everything set in the background, making you a ton of money. In the article, Hannah wants to avoid a strict schedule, working too much, and owning that creativity and being more flexible with that time. The irony here is that those ideas that were mentioned in the article are almost at times opposite from entrepreneurship. The irony here is that all of those ideas and those elements that Hannah wanted in a new role when starting a company tends to be the opposite of entrepreneurship. When you own your own business, when you're an entrepreneur, you don't always have the flexibility that you want. Sometimes you have to work off hours or work really early to meet a deadline. And sometimes you need to take on work because you need that supplemental income. It doesn't always mean that you'll be in full control, something that people don't really understand until they're way too deep. You won't always be in control of your workload, and sometimes it gets overwhelming. And as far as money goes, it's not always stable and predictable as one would think. Being an entrepreneur is no easy task, especially since there are no two paths that look the same, and the road to riches and success is sometimes non-existent. I'm all for quitting a toxic job or a job that no longer serves its purpose to you. But does that mean that your next step should be owning a business and starting a business? Maybe, but probably not. Make sure that you have exhausted your company's resources, whether it's networking, learning a new skill, work projects and opportunities, all of that comes into play. Make sure that you've exhausted all of these opportunities. That's all I have for this segment of Circling Back. What are your thoughts on quitting a job and starting your own business? Would you walk away from a six-figure salary at that age? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, keep on learning.